The NFC Championship is here. A trip to the Super Bowl on the line as the San Francisco 49ers travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Today, I got my favorite player prop. We got a game pick. We got a same game parlay coming your guys' way. What's going on? My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Let's recap last week when we talked about the divisional round. We went 2-0 on Saturday and then 0-2 on Sunday. So 2-2 overall on the week, losing a little bit of juice. We will continue to push through. Let's have a winning Sunday. If you're curious about my thoughts on the Bengals versus Chiefs game, don't worry. There's a separate video for that one. Same thing. A player prop, game pick, and a same game parlay over there. It might have been posted right after this one. So go check it out. And this video, we've talked about this time and time again this week, is brought to you guys by PrizePicks. I want to bring this up to you because they have a free square live right now for Mr. Joe Burrow. He's in the other game to throw just one passing yard. Now, I don't know if you know much about Joe Burrow, but he's going to throw for at least one passing yard. In fact, he's done that in all 48 career starts in the regular season and the postseason. He'll get that done. And the best part, if you sign up for using our code COS or the link down below in the description, you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. If you deposit $25 using our code, now you got 50. Deposit 100, now you got 200. Look, it's free money. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the free square. Great place to do your player prop entries. And look, I'll have my favorite PrizePicks entry in the Bengals versus Chiefs game. You can go check that out after this one. Without further ado, all the details in the description. Let's hop into our player prop. For this one, it's a guy by the name of Deebo Samuel, over 49.5 receiving yards, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, we did take Mr. Deebo's prop last week, and he hurt us. Let's be honest. We took his over in rushing plus receiving yards in. Well, he had a great first half. I think he had 60 combined. We needed about 76. And then the second half, he said, Austin, I'm good. You can keep it. And he basically, I think it went backwards, in fact. But he had 45 yards last week against the Cowboys, all of which came in the first half. And then the wild card round the week before, he had 133 yards. So hopefully he goes back over today. And I know this is a tough matchup against the Eagles. They have one of the better secondaries in the league. But Deebo's used a little bit differently than a normal wide receiver. They do a lot of, screen plays, a lot of easy routes where Brock Purdy, we aren't counting on Brock Purdy to throw him dimes down the field. It was like Brock Purdy has to fit it into tight windows. They're going to give him some easy throws, curl routes, slants, screen plays. And we know Deebo, one of the best guys in the NFL at yards after the catch. So he could maybe only have 4 or 5 catches a day, but he could take one for 50 yards. That's what Deebo's capable of. In that wild card round, he took one for like 74 yards. And I think Deebo Samuel, certainly talented enough. This is a conference championship game. Win or go home, Super Bowl berth on the line. Fully expect this 49ers offense to game plan ways to get Deebo Samuel the ball. They know he's one of their top 1, 2 playmakers with the ball in his hands. You're going to try to get him the ball, and I don't think they really want Brock Purdy sitting back there dissecting the defense and potentially getting hammered by this Eagles defensive line. I think they try to get some easy throws to Mr. Deebo Samuel, let him do his work, and I think he easily can get over 50 receiving yards. That's not a lot. He can do it on one play, but I'm sure he has a couple more catches than just one. So we'll take Deebo Samuel's over 49.5 receiving yards. If you want to take his over in rushing plus receiving, I don't hate that either. I expect him to get some rushing yards as well. I probably play this receiving yards up probably around a 53.5. So go Mr. Samuel. Let's move on to my game pick. And honestly, with these videos having such a big audience, regardless of who I pick, the opposing team's fans are going to come out and come with their pitchforks out. But in this game, and this one's going to really aggravate the Eagles fans, I'm going with the 49ers on the money line, plus 132 on FanDuel. If you want to take plus 2.5, and if you get plus 3, go for it. And like I said, the Eagles fans already got the pitchforks. There's 1,000 comments in there. And honestly, I think this is a very good game. I think this could go either way, which is why I'm leaning towards the underdog here, because I don't think the 49ers should be plus 132. I think this should be more closer to plus 110 or so. And let's talk about this 49ers team, which has won 12 straight games. Now, Brock Purdy, he obviously was Mr. Irrelevant. He gets all those headlines, and he hasn't necessarily, he isn't, the next Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, but he's played well and he's managed the games, which is honestly all you kind of need for this 49ers team, which has a great run game and a great defense. One of the better defenses the league has to offer. Now, Brock Purdy's been able to get it done, and I know the Eagles have a great defense as well, but I'm still kind of surprised that we see the Eagles only laying 2.5, maybe 3 points if you're lucky. The Eagles are the number 1 seed. They were great all year, the last unbeaten team. Obviously, they faltered towards the end, but Jalen Hurts was out most of those last couple games when they lost. So look at this team. You're at home. You're going up against a guy that's making his first ever start in the play, his first. We look at a guy like Brock Purdy making his first. He's barely 8 starts into his NFL career, and yet they're only laying 2.5 points. I just look at this. I think the books are trying to say, hey, lay the juice on the money line home favorite, and I won't do it. I know the Eagles just spanked the Giants by 31 last week. That was a divisional game. They know them by like the back of their hands. But this is the 49ers defense that will be game planned and ready to go versus the Eagles. D'Amico Ryan's future NFL head coach. And I think this team has a lot more. I think the 49ers have more experience in terms of their coaching staff in these big time games. We've seen them go to the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl before than I think the Eagles do. And while the Eagles have Jalen Hurts, who I would argue is a little bit better than Brock Purdy, both of them can make their mistakes. It comes down to who plays mistake-free football or makes the least mistakes, and I think that's the 49ers. I like their defense a tad more than the Eagles. I think these teams are virtually pretty close to each other on paper. Both have a lot of talented skill makers, skill position guys. And at the end of the day, I'm going to take the underdog at plus 132. I think that's too much value. I think it should be closer to pick 'em. And I know the Eagles are at home, but I think the 49ers show up on the road. They've won 12 straight games. I don't know. I'm going to trust Brock Purdy to continue to shock the world. I'm taking the 49ers to advance to the Super Bowl. Give me them on the money line, plus 132. Like I said, you can play a little bit safer if you'd like. Now it's time for the same game parlay time. And honestly, this game, I don't expect a lot of points. So my same game parlay isn't going to be too crazy. Not crazy value. If you need other value, I got a crazier one in the Bengals and Chiefs game. But here's 3 legs I like. Eagles plus 10.5, 49ers plus 10.5, and under 53.5 points. Now, I've already got 12 comments. Austin, my lines are 2.5. I understand. These are all alternate spread lines that you can get on FanDuel, and you can probably get very similar on DraftKings. But at the end of the day, I think this is more of a touchdown game. I think this should be back and forth, and I'm getting 10 points. So it could be like 27-17. Boom, it's going to cash. I don't think either side runs away with it. So I expect this to be, a 10-point ball game or less. It should be a close game. As for the under 53.5, I look at the Eagles team. I look at the 49ers. Both very good defenses. I don't think either team is just going to go up and down the field nonstop on the other defense. They'll make their adjustments, figure out ways to stop them. And I know this over-under feels a little bit high at 46.5, which is why I bet it up to 53.5. They're pretty dialed in on those over-unders this far into the season. I just think these are 2 defenses that are really good, 2 offenses that are good, but have had their share of, things that they can't really go. They've had their share of games where the offense hasn't been there. And so I'd rather take that under 53.5. If they go out there and they combine, and this is a close game, and they combine for 55 points, so be it. I'll take the L. It will probably be hopefully a close game, and I'll take my loss here. So I'm not necessarily putting a full unit on it. I won't track the same game parlay, just something else to sweat in. Just hope for a close game and maybe not 150 points scored. So I'll take a shot at it. It's plus 110. Like I said, you can put whatever you want on there, but I don't really love a lot of touchdown scores in this game. I just feel like touchdown scores a little fluky, and then the receiving yards, rushing yards, this game doesn't feel like a great one to be targeting a lot of those props. I think things could go haywire, and you could see random guys showing up. I'm just saying, that's what these 2 defenses, they're going to try to take away your number 1 and 2 option. They're going to make other guys beat you, and that's why I think those other guys might have a better chance, but I still do think Debo can get it done, and I think the 49ers are going to get the money line, and then we'll take ride with the same game parlay for a close game. Now, a reminder, PrizePicks has that free square. You can take advantage of it. Joe Burrow to just throw for 1 passing yard. You can get that at free leg, and your parlays done, and your entries. Now, if you want to sign up, that will be live until their kickoff. If you want to sign up, make sure you use code COS or the link down below. You get a 100% deposit match. It's free money. Take advantage of that. A couple props I considered. Dallas Goedert's under in receiving yards. Tough matchup against this 49ers defense. One of the best in the league at stopping tight ends. Now, Goedert's used a little bit differently than normal tight ends, but still, I don't mind Goddard going under. He'll get spammed. They like to throw it to him a lot, but I think they'll be able to tackle him and not let him get, those 25-yard gains that really get him over that line. And then as for another one, A.J. Brown's over in receiving yards. I think they got to get him involved. He did absolutely nothing last week. Pretty disgruntled about it. And while I'm sure his ego's been put aside, he'll put it aside to go to the Super Bowl. I think this is a bigger game for him than a guy like Devontae Smith. I think they need, a big guy like A.J. Brown to get the ball and kind of advance it down the field. We saw how DK Metcalf, friends to A.J. Brown, were able to get it done. He had like 133 yards in the wild card round. I think A.J. Brown has a pretty decent day. But as always, we'll track our picks. We're going to take the 49ers on the money line, Debo Samuel's over in receiving yards, and then we'll keep track of the same game parlay unofficially. But hopefully you guys have a great game, and hopefully this is a good one. I'll put my link to the Bengals versus Chiefs video. You can go check that out right now. And of course, PrizePicks. Thank you again for sponsoring the video. See you guys later. Peace.